Howdy creeps, welcome back to my channel. For those who are new to the channel, my name is Cameron, and happy October 1st. Just a couple weeks ago, this beautiful book right here, Paperbacks from Hell by Grady Hendrix and Will Erickson, was released by Quirk Books. I did do a full video review of this book as well as a written review, and I decided there's a little bit more fun to be had with Paperbacks from Hell. So for this video, I'll be showing you all of the books that I own by Zebra Books. Zebra Books is an imprint by Kensington Publishing, and they have a lot of really cool horror paperbacks, and I'd love to show them to you guys. But before I get into that, there's something else that's really cool that I wanted to bring to your attention. As I've mentioned on my channel many times, I am a huge fan of the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark series. This was a series of 3 books that was published in the late 80s to early 90s, and it featured just a bunch of scary stories from around the world. And just yesterday, I found out there is a brand new book coming out called Corpse Cold. This is a book that is filled with 17 new folktale stories that are very much in vein of Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, and the illustrations are freaking amazing. As you can see, they're very much like the illustrations from Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. They just totally capture that same gruesome, creepy vibe of those books. And the reason why I'm bringing it up in this video is because the authors just launched a Kickstarter for this book. They are trying to raise $3,000 so that way they can get the book into the hands of readers, and I really want this book, so I thought I would mention it on here in case any of you guys are also fans of Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. That way you guys can go and donate and try to get funding for this book so that way it'll be a thing. And as soon as I can get my hands on this book, I am definitely going to review it for you guys. So just wanted to give that a brief mention. But anyways, on to my collection of Zebra horror paperbacks. The first set of books you see are all by William W. Johnstone, who wrote mostly westerns in his time, but he did write quite a few horror novels for Zebra. I don't have all of them, but I do have 17, so a pretty good chunk, and they all have amazing covers, as you will see. The first book is A Crying Shame, The Nursery, The Devil's Heart, which is actually the second book in his Devil's Kiss series. I still need to find a copy of the first book. The Devil's Touch, which is the third book in the series, The Devil's Cat, which is the fourth, and the fifth book, which is The Devil's Laughter. Next up is Cat's Cradle, and its sequel, Cat's Eye, which actually ties in with his Devil's Kiss series. Here we have Wolfsbane, The Uninvited, Sweet Dreams, Toy Cemetery, Carnival, which is one of my favorite covers, Watchers in the Woods, Bats, Them, and Night Mask. Another author who wrote many books for Zebra was Jean Jensen. I only have a couple of her books though because they're so rare. First is House of Illusions with that really cool holographic cover, Chain Letter, and Jump Rope. I also have a few novels by C. Dean Anderson, I Am Dracula, I Am Frankenstein, and Fiend. Another that has a really cool atmospheric cover is The Vampire's Apprentice by Richard Lee Byers, as well as Cry Wolf by Alan B. Cronister. I also have 3 vampire novels by Scott Kinson. The Vampire Odyssey, which has this cool kind of cover inlay thing, and it's also signed. The Wildlings, which also has that same die-cut cover inlay thing and is also signed. And Parliament of Blood, which is not signed, unfortunately, and it never will be signed because the author is dead. Sad. Here I have Callie by Sharon Combs. I found this copy in my grandma's basement just after she died, which was really weird considering my grandma hated horror. Here is Goblins by Vincent Courtney, Sleep Tight by Michael J. Costello, Last Rites by David Dark, The Nest by Gregory A. Douglas, which was actually turned into a movie in the 80s. Here are Demonic Color and Crawling Dark, both by Pauline Dunn, The Dead of Autumn by H.P. Dunn, Unquenchable by David Vorkin, which I have to say is a pretty vanilla cover. Nice pose though, dude. The Lisa Syndrome by Christopher Fay, Wild Violets by Ruth Baker Field, Playtime by Morgan Fields, The Forever Children by Eric Flaunders, Beasts by Stephen R. George, and here are 4 titles by Pat Graverson: Dollies, The Fagin, Black Ice, and Precious Blood. And I don't have all of his books, but here are 7 titles by Stephen Grisham: Moon Lake, Half Moon Down, Dew Claws, Abracadabra, Night Touch, Demon's Eye, which has a really cool die-cut cover, and Blood Wings. Here are 2 books by Catherine Meyer Griffith, The Calling and Witches, and I have several Rick Hotla books as well. These include Moon Death, Moonbog, Nightstone with a nice lenticular cover, Moonwalker, Cold Whisper, and Dark Silence. By R.L. Stine, Barry T. Hawkins, is Puppet Master, which is not to be confused with the movie of the same title or Goosebump book. And this one is Afternoon of the Gosling by Marlise Hoffman, Demon's Fright by Penelope Bonka Reps, Witch Daughter by Elizabeth Lloyd. Here are 3 novels by Roxanne Longstreet, who is also known as Rachel Kane, The Undead, Red Angel, and Cold Kiss. Next is Keepers of the Beast by Jack McLean, The Darkness Within by Sean MacDonald, 3 books by Abigail McDaniels, The Uprising, Playmates, and Althea, 10 Little Indians by E. Patrick Murray, Junkyard by Barry Porter, The Spawning by Fritz and Ravenswood, The Unblessed by Paul Richards, The Lost Children by Brett Rutherford. I also own 3 books by Jack Scaparo, The Dollkeeper, The Attic, and Death Song. Next up is Witch Spell by Guyan Smith, The Devil's Cradle by Kate Stewart, Nightbait by Philip Straker, Deadly Nature by V.M. Thompson, which I always thought was kind of an awkward cover, Haunted by Tamara Thorne, The Stalker by Claude Tools, oh grandmother, what big eyes you have, The Ashes of Tamar by Elizabeth Wade, 2 books by Patricia Wallace, The Taint and Monday's Child, The Doll by Josh Webster, please don't kill me. I also have a handful of J.N. Williamson books, like Death Angel, Death School, Death Coach, Death Doctor, Horror Mansion, The Evil One, The Night Seasons, and The Monastery. Next is Fertility Rites by Faye N. Zachary, and last but definitely not least is the movie novelization of Halloween 2 by Jack Martin. And that is the last of it, creeps. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to let me know in the comments, and let me know if you guys want to see more horror paperback collection videos like this, because I have several more on my shelves. Until then, later, creeps.